Let's get the video stats up so I know exactly what's happening there. Because it's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes, I did eat, in fact. I actually did eat today. Welcome to Visual Thursdays with Anime Fan Arcade 2K, where we're going to play some more Katawa Shoujo tonight. We started a Rin route. It looked pretty good. So we're going to continue said Rin route, because I think it's going to continue being pretty good. This isn't me? Oh, no. Hey, I can eat every once in a while, I remember. You know? Anyway. After that morning class and throughout the week, I keep bumping into Rin. Hello. It's somewhat natural, as our classrooms are adjacent. Rather than just cross paths in the hallway like people regularly do, seem to pause at the sight of each other. Just like... dun! We invariably end up talking a little bit, or just silently hanging out together. I think I'm getting used to being quiet in Rin's company, so it doesn't feel as awkward anymore. I am, by nature, somewhat introverted like her, so we fit together well. I think it's actually an anomaly for someone in this school to be so quiet. Most people here seem to love socializing. Like Emmy! Misha makes a lot of sounds. Says one could plushies digest food? Yo, we eat plushy food. Something that I've noticed already, even though I haven't been here very long. People here talk a lot, and they talk all the time. It's a rare case when I see someone sitting alone, spacing out or whatever. Obviously, there are people like that here too. The Hanako girl and myself, just to name two from my own class. But overall, they are a minority. At any rate, I wouldn't exactly call what Rin and I do socializing, either, but something at least. The occurrences themselves don't bother me, but the fact that they happen at all does. I'd hesitate to say that we are drawn together by something. We certainly act as if we were. However, the sense of budding friendship is completely wrecked every time Rin opens her mouth. Can I listen to your heartbeat? She says this, or something else about as outrageous, and I have to fend off whatever nonsense her mind has cooked up during the preceding class of a subject that she is not interested in. Well, seems Rin has taken a shine to my heart condition as some kind of an extension of her interest in the odder disabilities that people here have. Consequences of said afflictions. As I stand in front of her for a second too long, looking as flummoxed as I am, she concludes that it is necessary to further clarify her request. I know I can, but I mean, will you let me? Why? Do I need a reason? I'm usually pretty bad with reasons. Not per se, but if you want to do it, you probably do have a reason. That's kind of clever. You're smarter than you look. Also, I'd rather you not. I think these things should be private. Private. I get it. I can tell you something, though. It amuses you. I'm pretty sure it will. My heartbeat does sound very weird because of the, condition. And I hear it all the time. So you're paranoid. It's not a question, it's a statement. No, I'm not paranoid. The doctor said that abnormal attention to heartbeat is a common symptom of my condition. So, for you, it's normal to be paranoid. It's not a question either. One could also say that me being like this in the first place isn't normal either, but what the heck. Paranoia fits me fine. I don't think it's something that can actually fit anyone or anywhere. I ate an orange today for breakfast. How was it? I'm vaguely proud of myself managing to keep over Rin's sudden change of topic. Excellent. I don't remember when I last ate an orange, but it's annoying to peel one. It's on the list of things I want to learn properly. How come you ate one then? Emmy had some, so she peeled one for me. Good for you. Rin stretches her back and yawns and says nothing further. She throws me a glance through the corner of her eye while she watches people pass by. I can't say why. I realize, though, that this is the first time I've talked naturally about my condition with anyone, in a way. A group of boys walk past us to Rin's classroom, but she doesn't pay them any mind. Pay none to her either. My mind wanders off, spurred by the silence. Maybe I should have let her listen to my heart. It's not like it matters. Nothing really matters that much. Because as they go, nothing really matters. Anyone can see. Nothing really matters. Nothing really matters. Except a lot of things matter to me. Well, anyway, at the end of the day. Start feeling depressed for no reason again. It's like a tidal wave out of nowhere rolling over my consciousness, submerging me underwater. I feel a sigh coming out of my mouth, and I turn away from Rin, pretending to read a poster on the wall. It's an advertisement for the school festival, running an event almost a week past. The difference between me and Rin is that I'll be more likely than not dead before turning 30, while she can't eat oranges without help. Can't decide which one of us is worse off. Try to grasp the passing of time, but it seems hard. Still used to the rhythm of the hospital, where trivialities such as the day of the week or time of day didn't really matter. Everything was the same no matter what. Yeah, when you're in the hospital for extended periods of time, I can see that. Rediscovering the significance of time is an oddly disorienting experience, and I find myself enjoying the fact that I can categorize events in this fashion. The relevancy of a ticking clock is surprisingly delightful. I decided to start wearing an analog wristwatch, something I didn't used to do before. When I finally asked Rin on Thursday about something that's been bothering me for the entire week, it's already lunchtime. The time is somewhere between 11:06 and 11:07, so the watch doesn't have a hand to show seconds. It's the old-fashioned kind with a black leather strap and titanium casing. It doesn't look flashy, but a wristwatch doesn't need to. It's also right in your face! Ah! Hey. Remember that sketch you made of me? How you said I look grim and gloomy or something? I'd like to know what you meant by that. She gives you a weird look and tilts her head a few degrees to the left, but doesn't say anything for a while. Well, you see, we've known each other for 2 weeks, and I haven't seen you smile even once. Striking observation gives me pause. Have I stopped smiling? I have to take what she says truth. She has no reason to lie. Something about the way she puts it annoys me. In front of Rin, try to correct my expression to look less depressed. I haven't been in the cheeriest of moods during the past few months or so this is true. Does this show so much that someone like Rin can tell for so little contact with me? Should I try to smile more at Rin? Maybe she could appreciate it, having such a neutral face herself almost all the time. If I really stopped smiling. I see. Should I smile more? I don't mind either way. Be as you are. I can't help being Hisao anyway. But it bothers you? I just noticed it, that's all. Emmy skips along the hallway, jumps to a sharp stop when she reaches us, lightly pats Rin's shoulder. Ready for lunch? Depends on what lunch is today. Remember that stew from March? Never again that. Let's go anyway. I'm starving. As they are about to depart, Emmy turns from her friend to me, seemingly an afterthought, and smiles charmingly. By the way, Hisao. Tone is way too sweet and soft to be sincere. I can sense the trap about to be sprung upon me by this miniature health devil. Know what she's about to say even before she continues, because I've been trying to avoid her all week. I still haven't seen you at the track this entire week. Maybe I've been there when you haven't. That's impossible. I'm there all the time. But you sleep and go to class. I do those at the same time as you do. Yeah, I know. I just haven't been able to pick myself up. Don't rat me out to the nurse, okay? Running just isn't my thing, and I haven't come up with a good alternative. Why don't you come to the track meet this weekend? Maybe you'll get inspired. Track meet? Yeah. People from a few other schools come here for some friendly track and field action. It's on Sunday afternoon. Can't think of any reason not to go. Sure, I'll come and cheer for you. Guess you'll be running? Of course. You'll get to see me beat them all. But bye now. If I don't get something to eat, I'll die. See you later. Bye, Rin. Promise I'll smile next time. Call after her as a bit of an afterthought. Afterwards, I feel embarrassed about it. I wonder why I said anything at all. The night when I'm doubly certain that Kenji won't be barging in the bathroom. Look in the mirror and smile at my reflection. And then Kenji barges anyway. We're going, ah! Anyway, the me in the mirror smiling at me in the bathroom looks awfully fake. Fake Hisao. Fake smiles. Having exhausted the books Kenji lent me in just a few nights, I go back to the library, deeming it a safer alternative from getting my reading fix. Return the books he had stolen while I'm at it, to Yuko's delight. I don't tell her where I got them, though.
Wow, you sure read a lot, don't you?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I do. Even I think it's weird. I think I might have a reading problem. Maybe I'm a junkie.
No, I didn't mean it that way. It's not weird at all. Being addicted to reading is a lot better than being addicted to something else.
Yeah, I know. It was a joke. Oh god, my voice is... done. Voice. Anime voice. Come back, please. Come back, voice. Anyway. Smile at her reassuringly and drop the books on the counter so Yuko can check them out. I feel tired. So does my voice, Hisao. So I sit down in the vacant chair in front of her desk. While Yuko goes through the modest pile of reading material I found, I let my gaze wander around the library. Looking around! I'm looking around my room, but that doesn't help me. Anyway, at the tables, a pair of girls was chattering in hushed tones rather than working on their homework. The short-haired one notices me looking in their direction and waves at me. When I raise my hand back, they glance at each other and giggle in unison. I'm not sure how I should feel about that, so I decide it's a good thing. The one who waved at me has a horrible case of epilepsy. Started having an attack a few days ago. It's one of the most disturbing and scary things I've seen in a very long time. Yet, there she is, happily chirping away about whatever, as if she doesn't have a care in the world. You know, school is really something else. She could raise her eyes from the book she was going through, slightly startled. She adjusts her glasses and puts on a nervous, confused smile.
What do you mean?
I don't really know how to explain it. It's just that everyone's so active, or how should I put it? It's not just a festival thing, even though I haven't been here that long, but it's everything. People talk more, work harder, and just are, more than in any other school I've seen before. I'm struggling for words, but it feels like I'm speaking honestly. School feels so alive. It's gonna save, do a quick safety save, just in case. Bye, Hisao smile, and it's gone forever. Goodbye, Hisao smile. Anyway. It's refreshing, right? Seems like a good option. Good safe option. It's refreshing. Sure, there were some people like this in my old school too. Not as many, and it feels more intense somehow. I think if I had to pin it down to one thing, that the students here really appreciate going to school. Oh, my buffer is up. Ha! Joke's on you, Hisao never smiled. Fair.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, me neither. Suddenly I realized I've just been babbling my thoughts to Yuko. Out of the blue. She's a bit of a jumpy person, so I fear I might have made a bad impression. She's looking at me with what I hope is curiosity rather than horror, so I figure she's alright. Sorry for suddenly talking about weird stuff like this. I didn't mean to trouble you.
Oh no, it's not troubling. I'm happy to listen if you feel like talking. It makes you feel a little reliable too. Yuko smiles sweetly, and a little bit ironically at that. Smile with a thankful smile of my own. She pushes a neat stack of books across the counter. I stand up and gather them in my arms. Here you are. Thank you. I guess we'll be meeting each other again. Please come here anytime. Yuko's kindness is heartwarming. You can count on it. See you later. Where's your route? Okay, that was a random scene. Cool. Good scene. Good talk. Good talk. Sunday, right? Bam. Yup. Know how this game does its things. The morning of the track meet greets me with a brilliant sunshine from a crystal blue sky. I'm walking on sunshine. Anyway, while I leisurely stroll towards the track, I decide this is a good sign. Of what? I'm not sure. This event isn't as exciting for me as it seems to be for a large portion of the student body. I'm even less interested in watching sports than I am in participating. Cheering for Emmy is a good cause.
not expecting this to be any sort of amazing, spectacular experience. But it can't hurt. Probably be spending their time reading while cooped up in my room otherwise. When I approach the bleachers, I spot Rin emerging from the crowd right before she spots me.
You came.
Of course, said I would, didn't I?
That doesn't necessarily imply that you had to follow through. Lots of people say things and don't mean them.
Well, I don't. Rin shrugs. Seemingly bored with our conversation, she turns on her heels and heads back toward the stands. So, are you excited about this?
Not really.
Me neither.
Then, why did you come?
Why did you? Doesn't reply at all, so I decide not to either. I enter the bleachers and Rin nods upwards.
Up there.
And leads away, and soon we're settled down on an almost empty bench. There's an older woman sitting next to Rin. Someone's mother, I assume. Someone's hot mother! And that's when Hisao realized he was into MILFs. The end. This was actually the Emmy's mom's route. Ha ha ha. I'm kidding, guys. Anyway, she's got rather long hair done up in a braid. And seeing Rin, she gives her an oddly familiar seeming grin.
Well, this is a surprise. I thought you went to get a snack, not a boy. I mean, I guess that can be a snack. Ignore that.
Huh?
This is no good.
The woman laughs at Rin and shakes her head, apparently unable to find a comeback for that. I know the feeling.
Well, I suppose you've always been one to go out for one thing and bring back another. I'm being rude. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Meiko Ibarazaki. True that if you know this girl, you've at least met my daughter too. Pleased to meet you.
Well, that explains it. She's like a taller, older, more motherly Emmy. Apart from her hair being somewhat darker than her daughter's, there's really no mistaking the resemblance. Sorry, I'm Hisao. Hisao Nakai. Nice to meet you. Here they call me a loser. Wait, what? Oh, Rin.
I'm Rin Tezuka.
Miss Ibarazaki laughs again. She really does resemble her offspring, and leans back a little on her seat and raises an eyebrow.
So now that we all know each other, how long have you and Rin been dating?
Response consists of silence as my brain suddenly lurches into gear. Just before I can begin to stutter a hastily babbled explanation, his mother bursts into laughter again.
Ha! You're a blusher, aren't you?
I don't know if there's any way to keep my dignity in this situation, so I settle for a mumbled response. Mumble, 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 mumble. Mumble, 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 we're not.
I know, but it's funny to watch you squirm. I'm sorry. Forgive an old woman her amusements.
Chuckles again to herself. Old woman? Sure doesn't look that old to me! Oh no! Oh no, Hisao, you can't say that. Don't do it. Don't do it, Hisao! Suppose I can let it go. I suppose if a pretty lady like yourself makes a joke like that. Come on, Hisao. Stop it.
How kind of you. It's starting.
Turn my attention to a track where they're preparing for the first sprint, and Emmy's gonna kick all their butts. It looks like the 400-meter dash. I scan the runners for finding Emmy. She's smiling with an almost cocky look on her face. Actually, can I skip this scene since I've already seen it? No, I can't. This scene is unique, just because the same thing already happened. The starter raises his pistol. Emmy explodes off the block, disappearing from the starting line in a blur. It's amazing. Even as the other sprinters' coverage on the lanes closest to the inside line, Emmy surges to the front of the pack. By the time she rounds the final turn, a few of the other runners have caught up with her. She puts on a final burst of speed that leaves them at least half a second behind. You see Ibarazaki whoops and shouts, applauding wildly, and generally looking like any other parent cheering on their child. Emmy bounds off the track looking pleased with herself. Cheer right along with them. Woo! Yeah! Kill them! Wait, what? The announcer, sounding suspiciously like Misha, gleefully gives the results.
And the winner is Wahaha! Emi Ibarazaki! Wahaha!
Wait, what? Sounds suspiciously like Misha. Sounds just like her. He sound like some MILFs then? I guess he does.
I think she's gotten faster since the last time.
That was incredible. Miss Ibarazaki grins proudly.
Emi's a heck of a runner.
Falls silent as the next event prepares to start. Surprised to see Emmy striding out onto the track again. She walks out there like, yep. Wait, didn't she just run? Emmy's mother nods.
Yes, but she runs multiple events for the team, especially the sprints. It's a lot of running, but Emmy can handle it.
No looks of things, she's right. Emmy doesn't appear to be tired, as if she hasn't run the previous event at all. Not for the sweat visible on her shirt, you never know. Which event is this?
It's a 200-meter dash. She'll do this, the 100-meter, and the relay.
I see. Once again, the pistol sounds, and once again, Emmy flies off the block. Thumping sound draws my attention away from the race. It's Rin's foot. She's completely absorbed in the race. When his mother cheers again, I assume that the race is over. Sprints don't seem to me like they take very long to complete. The foot. The foot was bouncing on the bleachers.
Oh.
Seem pretty into this stuff. Surprised. Thought you said this wouldn't be exciting.
I suppose you're right. It's not that interesting. But I'm watching Emmy, not the sport.
I don't follow.
Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. You don't get to see Emmy at her Emmyest very often. But here you can see. See?
She directs my attention toward the track again where the 100-meter dash is about to start. Watch Emmy closely. She gets on the starter block, her whole body seems to relax, but it's a false relaxation. You can see that she's actually like a coiled spring. The starter tells everyone to get set up, her head snaps up and her eyes narrow slightly. Her mouth curls upward in what could be a grin and could be a growl. The pistol goes off. It's as if she's been unleashed from a cage, like she was always moving at this blinding speed. We couldn't see it happening until the starter's pistol dispelled the illusion of the motionlessness. Oh. Ugh. As soon as she crossed the finish line, fierce look was replaced by her normal grin. Conquering general turning to his father. Amazing. She really is amazing. I've never seen someone move that fast.
Well, don't look at me. I'm far too relaxed to run that fast. No, I think Emmy's prowess all came from her father's side.
Mention Emmy's father. Miss Ibarazaki looks wistful.
Almost sad.
Come on, Hisao, get in there. If you want to go the MILF route, now's your chance. He's not going the MILF route, guys.
He got into running, you know.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Leave it at that, and don't say anything for a while. I get the feeling this is something personal I shouldn't ask about. Beeping noise suddenly emanates from Miss Ibarazaki's pocket. Reaching into it, she pulls out a cell phone and looks at it.
Honestly, text messages. What is he, 16? Oh, nothing. I've got to go meet up with a friend of mine. Will you tell Emmy I'm very proud of her? That I'll call her later tonight?
Of course. Alright, so I wasn't sure about it the first time. The MILF route wouldn't even have a good end. Everything's just depressing and more depressing. It's just never meant to be. While waiting for the relay to start, I peer at Rin. She seems uninterested in her surroundings, myself included. Alright, anyway, going back to the fact that Emmy's mom just got a text message. I wasn't sure who it was. I was like, maybe it was like who it was originally. But now that I see it now, it's probably the nurse contacting her so they could discuss Emmy's health, right? Anyway, that's just what I'm saying. And of course, the nurse will totally text, because why not? Anyway. The remark she made before is still stuck in my head. Emmy is the most Emmy when she runs. It does make sense now that I think about it. After seeing her run now, I believe that Emmy gives her all on the track. Sports are more than a hobby or even a competition to her. They're a defining aspect of her life. What about Rin then? Does she feel the same way about art? Considering the persistence she displayed for the festival, I could easily believe it. Did I see Rin at her most serene when she was painting the mural? The relay is about to begin, but I don't see Emmy anywhere. Thought Emmy ran the relay.
She runs anchor, so she won't be running for a while yet.
Ah.
Did you see it?
Huh?
Emmy at her Emmyist.
Maybe.
Maybe this time.
The race begins, and I cheer Emmy's teammates along as they pass the baton. Finally, I see Emmy sprinting onto the track to take the final handoff. Once again, I'm taken aback by how graceful she looks when she runs. It really is beautiful. The look of determination and fearlessness on her face only adds to the picture. Emmy at her Emmyist, I suppose. Emmy flies across the finish line with a great lead, just barely ahead of the next runners, but still in first. She beats out the same people. The exact same people that were running before, too.
Well, let's go now. Gotta crown the victor. See if you can find a laurel branch.
That's not going to be easy. Rin shrugs.
At least we tried.
I love that. It's just like, yeah, okay, yeah, we tried. It's like, let's find a laurel branch. It won't be easy. Well, okay, we tried. Done. Emmy surrounded by her teammates, all of them congratulating her on the run. Rin seems to be waiting for Emmy to notice that she's arrived. Doesn't seem her style to draw attention to herself or to emote beyond shrugging. Being more impatient than Rin, I wave to Emmy in her stead. She looks up and grins happily at us.
Hey! You showed up.
He would have brought you a crown of laurels, but he still didn't find one. Neither did you.
It wasn't my job to look.
When did we assign jobs?
When I said, see if you can find a laurel branch. Try to keep up.
I shrug. This Rin's rubbing off on me. Seems like it's my fault after all, Emmy. Emmy laughs at Rin and me.
It's okay. I'm sure you'll make it up to me somehow.
Sure.
Good, so how'd I look?
Very impressive. He seems pleased with this assessment. I don't mention how much more impressive her performance is given her lack of legs. Figure she'd know that already. Besides, it seems it would take away from her efforts somehow.
Great to hear. I was worried that I looked a little slow on the relay, but I guess I did fine, huh?
Emmy giggles and then seems to remember something.
Oh, before I forget, Rin and I are going to go do something next Sunday as a post-track meet celebration. You should come along. Normally, we do it the day after, but since today's Sunday, got homework and class and all that stuff to take care of.
Oh, sure. I love to.
Great. It's a promise then.
Alright, your mom wanted to say she's proud of you. She'll call you later tonight.
I thought I saw her in the stands. I'm glad she made it.
Hey, Emmy! You're gonna miss the medal ceremony! I'm a teammate! What up?
Oh yeah, thanks.
Turns to Rin and myself.
You don't have to stick around for this part. It takes forever. Besides, you should get cracking on your homework now if you don't want to be up late, Hisao.
Emmy skips back to her teammates, leaving me and Rin by ourselves. Neither of us have the slightest interest in the post-competition ceremonies, so they silently get away and back to the quad. Rin yawns without even trying to restrain herself and shuffles her feet around restlessly. I feel awkward, but less so than if I was with someone else, so I'm left hanging, not knowing what I should say next. Emmy was great, wasn't she?
She was great. I am very jealous of her.
Why?
Like you said, don't you think it's great to be able to really be yourself?
Sounds weird coming from Rin. I don't think you, of all people, should have trouble finding a way to express yourself. Don't you have your paintings? Turns to look at me. For the first time I see in her eyes a strange, hollow expression that I think must be unique to her.
No, you see, the problem is that I'm not really sure who I am.
Oh. Yeah, that's important. Hey, how's it going, King? Today's art club meeting is currently on hold while everyone waits for Nomiya to show up. Take this time to try and explain my theory about Yamako to Rin. Try to figure out what exactly about the school feels so special to me. That concept I unsuccessfully tried to explain to Yuko the other day. Still difficult, but the track meet and the time I spent observing my fellow students helped my ideas mature a little. Have you noticed that people talk all the time? Can't really explain it, but... Again, I tried to explain my observation, struggling for words. Student body is heavily clicked. And I'm only now beginning to make sense of the intricate grouping of popularity networks. And yet the feeling of being a part of a group is stronger here than I remember it being in my old schools. I'm trying to say that this school isn't like other schools. Or at least the students aren't, even after discounting the obvious. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what you mean. Oh, well, whatever then. Oh no, guys, watch out. Hisao is becoming a conspiracy theorist. Kenji is rubbing off of him. It's too late. I want to pursue the issue, but at this point, Nomiya arrives. Teacher is wiping sweat from his forehead with a handkerchief and breathing rather heavily. Quickly glances over the room that settles down a bit.
Hello. Apologies for being late. Is everyone present good? I must confess, I haven't really planned anything for today, as I've been extremely busy lately, but I'm sure we can come up with something entertaining. Anyone have any suggestions? I was thinking we could have a discussion circle, so we haven't had one in a while. I at least found the last one magnificently enjoyable.
There are some murmurs here and there, but nobody raised their voice in support or against Nomiya.
We could delve into various movements of art, or does someone have a good topic in mind? Come on, throw it out there. It doesn't matter if it's silly or odd. We can always cook up something interesting.
We have Hisao Jones now. It's a thing. Hisao, now with the Yamaku conspiracy theories. And Kenji, now with the... Kenji, always with the feminist movement conspiracy theories. Anyway. Nobody seems to be brave enough to make a suggestion. So the awkward silence refused to be broken. I lift my hand in the air.
Oh! Our newest friend seems to have something on his mind. Speak up, my boy, speak up!
Oh, well, I don't know about anyone else, but I've always wondered why art exists in the first place. Voice trails off. Silence sets in the room, and nobody makes a follow-up on my meek suggestion. Then the teacher bursts in laughter.
Ha ha ho! Excellent! Very good indeed. Right out of the gate with the big one, huh? Fabulous!
Chuckling, he shifts some papers around on his desk for a few moments. When he's done, he appears to have made some sort of decision.
Very well then, let us run with this and see where it gets us, shall we? Oh my, even an old fogey like me gets excited when such delicious enthusiasm is present. Oh my indeed.
Why does he have his tongue sticking out? Anyway.
Let me gather my thoughts a moment so I can figure out a good starting point for everyone.
For some reason, the teacher seems to be almost literally bursting with excitement. He scrolls a few things down on a loose sheet of paper, then cleans his glasses with the handkerchief. Strikes a pose, then freezes for an overly dramatic artistic pause. Spans what must be half a minute. So quiet, I hear a pin drop.
Pin drop noise. Pin drop noise. First, let's come up with a few questions that we want answered, such as what is art and why does art exist? Anyone have any questions that might be related?
The boy with sunglasses pipes up almost immediately. His voice is soft and quiet. I have a hard time making out what he says.
What defines an artist?
After him, another question pops up.
If I fill a cardboard box with water and call it art, is it art?
Everyone laughs at that, even the teacher.
Great, wonderful, all these! Let me start by saying that this is not a clear-cut issue by any means, and as such, I'm not going to give you any answers to you. I'm only going to speak from my own perspective. Scholars have argued about these sorts of questions since time immemorial, and there have never really been a broadly applicable consensus reached. There are, however, some qualities that most tend to generally agree upon. Hopefully you all should find these acceptable as well. In short, art defines itself. It simply cannot be contained to a definition from the outside, since the boundaries of art expand and contract from forces within. Every day, someone somewhere comes up with something that's completely outrageous, that challenges any and all preconceptions. The core reason for this is the fact, rather than the rational side of the mind, art appeals to the intuition, the instinct, the primal. You would find it very hard to explain why exactly it is that you enjoy some particular style or piece, no?
Actually, you can. There are various good ways to explain that, actually. That's incorrect. Music theory is a very broad topic that covers a lot of things, yes. But you could definitely narrow it down to some structures, some rhymes, some rhythms, etc. He is wrong! In my opinion. He doesn't wait for a response before continuing.
This is exactly why. So art is this sort of wild, uncontrollable thing that lurks somewhere deep in our subconscious. Now, why does it exist?
Nomi apparently expected someone to pipe up with the guest, as nobody dares to interrupt his inspired speech. He continues.
It was a trick question. You see, art also validates itself. Generally speaking, you might say that art exists for no other purpose than itself. It's something that exists merely to leave a mark in history. It's the defiance of the mortal against the face of darkness, as once was said. Art is truly the proof of our existence. You all should know that human culture and civilization are tightly tied to the existence of art. Then what about artists? What drives a man to dedicate his life to a thing so fickle and mysterious that it even defies definition? There are as many answers for this as there are artists, but if I had to put it into words, an artist doesn't make art because he can, but because he must.
Nomi takes a pause, and his gaze sweeps over his audience, eyes flaring with passion.
It is obvious that art touches the very soul of each and every human being in one way or another. So if we were given a chance to connect with your fellow man in such a fundamental way, how could you not? There is a poem I'm very much fond of, and I shall recite the most well-known part of it to you now. I feel that for me personally, of all possible things, it captures the essence of what it means to be an artist.
Oh, it's tough, man. His voice, I'm getting lightheaded. Oh, it's because I forgot to breathe. Oh, excuse me. Okay, I'm breathing again. All right, let's do this. Nomi leans against the desk as he clears his throat in preparation. Looking at some distant place, he utters the words in the heavy afternoon air with a soft basso voice.
To see a world in a grain of sand, and a heaven in a wildflower. Hold infinitely in the palm of your hand, eternity in an hour.
There's a solemn and unbelievably awkward silence after he finishes reciting the short fragment. Nobody dares speak a word. Nobody clears his throat again.
To be an artist is to see the world in a grain of sand. You see, dear children, without art, there would not be much to live for in this world. It is a most profound thing.
He's clearly touched by this notion. I almost expect to see a lone tear rolling down his rough cheek when it never comes. The single tear.
This is the tear of the artist.
Turn to Rin and whisper to her. So, how is this a discussion circle? She shrugs nonchalantly back at me.
Previous one was the same.
To his credit, Nomiya does try to get some debate going, but the club seems to be reluctant to comply. I feel a bit guilty about opening my mouth. Maybe he would have been spared from this. Oh, maybe we would have been spared for this. What? Okay, I have no idea what you're talking about. As the meeting comes to a close, I realize we haven't once touched any paint or pens today. I feel somewhat disappointed. Noe suddenly appears next to us. He seems to be still fired up from the speech he delivered. His cologne smells musky and saccharine at the same time, giving me an instant headache. Even though I'm not sensitive to perfumes, he is looking at Rin like a hungry wolf.
Tezuka, do you remember Miss Sayonji who visited us at the festival?
I think so.
I'm going to tell you something amazing. The thing is, she's a very well-known gallerist around here. It turns out I might be able to get her to consider having some of your work put on display.
He ends his sentence with a dramatic gesture. Seems he's expecting Rin to show some sort of joyous, shocked reaction at such grand news. She just stares at him blankly.
Magnificent, isn't it? This could be a real chance for us to get ahead, girl. Okay, alright, girl. Oh, okay. But... Now, I know what you're about to say. Yes, it wouldn't be a simple affair, but I think this is an absolutely fantastic opportunity. Frankly, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we even made it big. This could be the first step, and then when the word is out, we strike while the iron is hot. Right, Nakai? Yeah. Does sound really great. If you're into that kind of thing. Well, like art, poetry, or works and such, music and a lot of things are up to the interpretation of the beholder, the listener, etc. So in this regard, I don't know who William Blake is, but they probably have a reason why they chose the poem. Same reason why this guy did. See, we should definitely not let this one pass, am I right? I don't really. Rin seems to be troubled for some reason. I can't figure out why. What Nomiya is saying does indeed sound like a possibly great thing. She looks pretty down, though, and confused. Never seen her like this. So, what do you think? She looks up to her teacher's glowing face, then back down at her desk. I'll think about it. Nomiya is at last taken slightly aback by Rin's lack of superlative delight. Then he smiles widely at her and gently pats her head. Good girl. Club meeting is finally over. As I lazily collect my things to help clean up, I start feeling exhausted for some reason. There isn't much to do, however. It's over quickly. Like I said, interpretation is up to the beholder. Different people can look at the same thing and think and draw two different conclusions. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, catch up to Rin, who left the club room just a moment earlier. So we're walking down the stairs to the ground floor while I try to go over Nomiya's passionate speech about art, and Rin seems to be lost in thought. Not an unusual state for her, I've learned, but something about her expression makes me feel uneasy. Penny for your thoughts? That'd be too cheap. Just overpricing your thoughts. I wouldn't be able to sell them anyway. I'm not sure what I'm thinking yet. That'd be fraud too, like stealing a candy from a baby. That's theft, not fraud. I have to think about what I think. Is this about what the teacher said? Getting your work put on display and all that? She doesn't answer, but stops in her tracks as we reach the lobby. The only people around, so it's very quiet. Footsteps echo for a few floors up as someone hurries along the hallway. Hey, sounds like Emmy running. Again. I think I'm going to go somewhere else. I think she really is troubled. Well, company? Can't promise much help with thinking, but it's not like I have much else to do. And I'm supposed to be doing some light exercise. If you like. Rena leads me outside to the wall behind the dormitories. There's a small back gate there made from the same wrought iron as the main gate. Leads to the shadowy woodland park behind the school. The gate is rusty, as if it hadn't seen much use. However, it sits open to pass through. It's not forbidden for students to leave the grounds, but somehow I feel a little uneasy. Oh, this is new. Interesting. A path leads deeper into the forest. Tall Zelkova and maple trees rustle in the wind, their canopies creating patches of chill air hanging in the places where the shadows fall. The forest smells strongly of earth. I almost feel cold, even though the midsummer day is as hot as ever. Rin trudges along like a sleepwalker, sure-footed but with no apparent destination in mind. Her thoughts seem to be somewhere else. I follow a few steps behind, taking more care to watch where my feet land. The path follows the land uphill at a low angle, sometimes making little detours downhill before climbing back upward. Muted brown and gray trunks line the path on both sides, peppered with ferns and other undergrowth. After a little while, I start getting worried.
Path is still wide and clear, so there's no chance of getting lost, but it does look like doesn't look like we have any particular destination. There's nothing wrong with a bit of aimless wandering around, but I don't want to go so far that I get too tired to walk back. Starting to get a little winded and my legs feel heavy. I want to stop and get a chance to catch my breath and rest my legs, but Reading keeps going. Where are we going? Or are we going anywhere at all?
Worry tree.
I see. So what exactly is the worry tree?
It's just a tree, like this.
Stops in front of a particularly large maple that might or might not be the worry tree. Its lush green leaves sway lightly in the breeze, blowing through the small clearing we entered. I guess as much.
There are people who believe that you must come here to wallow in misery. For a miserable, only by people I mean me, and the tree isn't really called anything.
So, if you're miserable, you talk to a tree about it?
No. What? What? You can't talk to trees. What do you think I am, crazy?
No. I didn't mean it like that.
Or maybe you talk to trees. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say you are crazy, even though you probably are if you talk to trees. I wouldn't recommend it in either case. People will think you are a weird person.
No, just forget it. She looks mildly confused, for which I don't blame her at all. She tilts her head a little to the side, expression melting back to her usual one.
Alright, I'm good at forgetting things.
So why are we here? Are you miserable then? Can't read the expression she makes. I hate how bad I am at interpreting Rin's mood. She doesn't answer right away, as if she herself isn't quite certain of her own mood. Blank stare changes into a more difficult expression as she shuffles her weight around. Finally coming to a conclusion, Rin shrugs her shoulders. Growing to seriously dislike that gesture doesn't mean anything.
Maybe. I just feel kind of like I'm sinking underwater. I don't know what I should do. I don't know where I should go, that's all. Maybe. It's not a big deal, but I thought walking might help. Kind of like, if I go somewhere, I would know where I should go. I don't really know if it did. It really wouldn't make sense if walking had helped to decide where to go.
So you don't want to try to get an exhibition, or rather, you don't know if you do. Can't decide? Rin doesn't say anything for a while, arranging her thoughts in silence. Quiet is broken by a bird song from somewhere in the treetops, followed by rustling leaves as the bird takes flight.
Maybe. I'm not sure if I can have a thing like that. So far I've only painted for myself. I don't think I could have my things on display the way I am now. This me couldn't do it.
Reason sounds like a weak excuse. Make my trademark frown, but she doesn't notice it. I don't get it. The teacher certainly thinks you could. I don't think he'd suggested otherwise. Sounds like he's calling in favors from his friends too.
I know. He really does a lot for me, but this might be too much. Becoming someone who can do it might be pretty hard. Maybe I couldn't do it at all. He can't do it for me, and if I let him try, I just sink deeper and deeper.
Rin stands in front of the large maple and turns away from me. I want to close the few feet of distance between us and, I don't know. Her irritation is suddenly gone. I start feeling sympathetic to her. I know exactly how you feel. Well, maybe I don't, but still. I think I haven't felt like I was actually in control of my own life this whole year. Just helplessly going along with the flow. Like coming here to this school, I didn't really choose it myself. I certainly didn't choose this time of my life to learn that I have this condition. Still can't casually say the word aloud. It's like, yeah, it's exactly like being underwater. Like you can't even breathe. Rin turns to face me again, a sad expression on her face.
Is that why you look so sad all the time? I don't want to look sad like you. Do I look to you like you look to me?
I don't look sad all the time. I just don't know what I should be feeling. What kind of face I should be making.
Me neither. Do I look sad now?
Not really. You look like you always do, I think.
But I'm sinking. I should try to float, up like a rubber duck. Quack quack, all yellow and creepy.
I have to think for a few seconds about which direction I should pursue in this conversation. Then I realize that doesn't matter. You think rubber ducks are creepy?
You don't? I think they look very creepy. Everything that has eyes but isn't alive is very disturbing. Like rubber ducks and reflections in mirrors.
She Flops down on the forest bed, leaning on the maple she named the worry tree. Wondering what to do for a moment, I sit down too, 3 feet apart from her. The forest envelops us in its embrace, and its stillness falls upon the two of us. We sit there without speaking for a long while. I can literally feel the time passing. Patches of sunlight litter a small clearing in a pattern that echoes the maple's canopies. One of them falls directly on me, warming me all the way to the bone. Wonder what I could do for myself and maybe for Rin. For now, just keep watching her from this distance. Sometimes she cranes her neck all the way back, so much that it looks almost painful, and then stares up at the small patch of sky visible past the canopy of the worry tree. Sometimes she just stares blankly ahead, as if seeing something just beyond her reach. She keeps whispering to herself, so quietly that I can't hear her, even though I'm sitting right next to her. I only see her lips moving, like she was in the middle of a distant dream. Realize that right now, I no longer feel any of the intense loneliness I feel at night, just before falling asleep. I might be more like Rin than I thought. Either give up and stay submerged under the weight of all the crap in my life, or try to change myself for the better. Her decision is different, yet the same. And unlike her, I know for sure that I can't stay like this forever. I have to change. No. Huh. Let's see. We're going down the Rin route, guys. Alright. We're going down the Rin route, okay? So, going down the Rin route. Guess what the correct answer is? I want to be more like Rin. Okay, if you thought it was the other one, I don't know what kind of bad endings we're going to get into, but that's all on you. Rin could probably do it. Even though she seems to doubt herself, I have no doubts about her strength. She could do it, even if she can't. Makes me feel a little bit better, too. I lean back against the tree, breathing out deeply at it, as if for the first time in a long time. Stay that way in the small clearing until the angle of the sun changes and the chilly shadows deepen. No longer warm where we sit, we leave the forest, returning along the same path we took coming in. Doesn't seem like Rin has come to a decision. I wonder if it was a bad idea for me to come along. It's alright. I don't mind. Sure, the trees and dirt and rocks won't mind either. Did you mind? No, not at all. I think it helped me too. While we walk back towards the dormitories, the sky is changing to a deep ultramarine. First, summer stars twinkle softly from between the spots in the canopy, barely visible like tiny fireflies. I'm becoming very self-conscious about Rin's presence. I haven't thought much about girls since things fell apart with Iwanako. It's kind of the same situation as then, but to be honest, I don't think it really counts for much, now we're Rin. Yet, it feels good walking next to her, even if it isn't anything more than this. First, I think Rin agitated me quite a bit with her unpredictable behavior, but recently, I feel like I haven't had to be on my toes so much. I managed to let myself go a little. Makes me feel satisfied, even though ultimately I think it's more thanks to Rin than myself. She seems to be disinterested in a huge number of things. Something in her makes me try harder than I normally would. It's not that I want to impress her. I think that's truly impressing Rin will take near superhuman effort just because of how she is. Instead, it's because there's this relentless feeling inside of me that I shouldn't let Rin down. It's really weird. I wonder why I started thinking like that. I don't even know what sort of expectations she has about pretty much anything. So how can I let her down? Rin has this unassuming air around her. She doesn't really talk about stuff very often. Even today's confession of her self-doubt caught me a little bit off guard. I feel like I want to talk more with her. The realization suddenly dawns on me that Rin is basically the only person I talk to nowadays, apart from whatever I have to endure from Shizune, Mishin, or Kenji. I feel slightly depressed. For the dormitories, as is summoned by my dark thoughts, we run into Kenji himself. It feels very odd seeing him outside, breathing fresh outdoor air. At least, it's already dusk. Partially expect Kenji would disintegrate upon direct exposure to the sun. Kenji himself seems very insecure as well, standing around looking like he's waiting for something, but doesn't know himself what it might be. Hey Kenji, what are you doing? Hello. Who are you? It's me, Hisao. I'm not sure if you know Tezuka from class 3-4. From his face, you can see that not only he doesn't know Rin, he also can't see her from this short distance. Oh. Sup, dudes? Oh! Did he just mistake Rin as a male? Oh my god. This is beautiful, guys. This is beautiful. Kenji sticks his hand enthusiastically forward, almost straight into Rin's stomach. He looks at his outstretched hand in confusion until Kenji clears his throat and retracts his hand. Something almost cool that he managed to do with social awkwardness. It's not like I'm the most suave man on the planet, but I don't think I'll ever be able to even approach Kenji's level. I love the fact that Kenji stuck his hand out to shake Rin's hand. They respect Kenji a little bit more. Wow, Hisao. Okay. So you're waiting for someone? He leans closer and lowers his voice to an agitated whisper, his facial muscles twitching. Come on, man. You know I can't talk about stuff here in public. They might be listening. I'm going to have to go pick up some stuff from somewhere. And I don't want those snooping student council hags to get on my case. Also, I don't trust your friend. Nothing personal. Are you sure he's trustworthy? Briefly considered telling Kenji about Rin's gender, but as it might end up badly for one or both of them, I decide against it. Yeah, I'm sure. Turns from me to Rin. I immediately get the feeling that I have to prevent them from talking to each other for whatever means necessary. However, there's little I can do now apart from physical violence. In that case, would you be interested in knowing about the worst threat to mankind since they invented vegetarianism? Sounds like a vacuum cleaner salesman. I thought it was Sunday. I see you're not in the know. Yeah, man. I'm talking about man-eating cows here. Very few people know what I know, so I'm not surprised. We can't talk here, but if you like a pamphlet, come to my room after curfew on Mondays or Wednesdays. Sully reaches to his pocket and draws out a ballpoint pen, what looks like a convenience store receipt. Kenji furiously scribbles on a scrap of paper and then thrusts it toward Rin. Here's the password. Memorize it and then eradicate any trace of this document. Eat it, burn it, dissolve it in acid, whatever. Take the receipt from Kenji as Rin is unable to do so, and glance at it. It's indeed a receipt, apparently, for 2 rice balls and 5 boxes of matches. Hope he's not planning to burn anything down. On the other side is written just one word. Honey. What the heck? Oh my goodness, what is happening in this game? Honey Muffin. I showed it to Rin too, but she shows no reaction. Thank you. Yo, Hisao. You still in that club? The Club of Dark Arts? Fine art. Anyway, yeah. I actually just had a meeting today. Still got your wits about you. No shady mind tricks going on. Nothing personal, man. But I have to be on top of things. Can't get caught with my pants down. Speaking of which, you should really take showers a bit later. Gotta respect that personal space, nothing personal. Kenji looks around as if he heard something and then straightens his jacket. Okay, I gotta scoot now before it gets too late. Later, dudes. Good luck. Kenji takes off rapidly towards the main gate. Rin looks after him, frowning. Watch after Kenji's diminishing figure in silence. What's wrong with him? Technically speaking, I think he's legally blind. Oh, I see. Just like, alright, that makes sense. Well. You can immediately tell from the envelope that it's not about official matters or any sort. Someone actually wrote me an old-fashioned handwritten paper letter. Who bothers doing something like this in this day and age anyway? Yeah, as unlikely as the prospect of receiving one sounds, there's definitely a letter lying on my desk. Class for the day are over. Still feeling pretty full from the big lunch I had unexpectedly eaten at the cafeteria. I returned to my dorm planning on finishing my homework and probably skipping dinner, or at least just eating light. I feel like I need to eat less than I used to. Maybe I don't use that much energy now that I don't do much beyond reading. However, the letter on my desk has naturally caught my interest. The first piece of mail I received here at Yamaku. It's very special. It feels special even if it wasn't something as rare as a handwritten letter. What caused me even more trepidation is the name of the sender written neatly on the back of the envelope. Iwanako. I have no idea why she would write to me. I haven't been in contact with anyone from my old school since I transferred. And Iwanako is the last person I expect to want to write me a letter. The last time I saw Iwanako was terribly awkward, embarrassingly so. Came to a hospital room, peeled an apple, cut out. Can I skip this? Please? No? Okay. This is super unique, okay? She said goodbye and didn't look me in the eye when she closed the door. Might have been a natural end to a series of visits that were probably pretty painful for both of us. Every time she visited me in the hospital, I wanted to talk to her, but something stopped me every time I didn't speak. The next time, even harder. But Nako always had this aura fragility around her. She shattered to pieces like disturbance. She thought my results were trying to be her. After what happened back then, I felt as if she really had shattered. She looked so sad that I didn't want to say anything that might upset her and never could figure out what to say. I told her that wasn't her fault. I didn't really think she understood that if it hadn't been for that, sooner or later something else would have made her heart give out. And she looked so hopelessly sad every time she opened the door of the room. So I never managed to even say the thing I wanted to say. In the end, they went her even more. Carefully, I opened the envelope and drew out the folded letter within. Oh, it's the same letter! Boom! Time for more speed reading! Dear Hisao, how are you? I hope you are well. Happy to school. Everyone here missed you. Almost all of our second year class, especially the class you won for the final play. So we're pretty much comfortable right in the beginning of the year. I'm sure you would have been assigned to this class as well. The mood among the third years seems to be very anxious about the final exams. They're so far away. Teachers badgering about us all the time. Much stress beyond who is, by the way, our home teacher this year. Would you believe it? I was sure that you've retired the second year, but you raised nagging everyone about studying exams. I think things that are like that are the main reason why the mood among the seniors is certain overs. I must admit that I'm somehow losing confidence in myself as well, even though I've always fared reasonably well in exams. Oh my goodness. So weird to think we are already seniors and the time has really flown past. I wonder where it went. New first year students so young, and am I really innocent? I keep wondering if I was like, this is my first year. I've been feeling nostalgic this for the whole first trimester. There are other things I want to say. I'm writing to you because I felt the things I should have said after sitting back in winter. I regret that I wasn't able to say them in person. I have no excuse for it. The truth is, at times when I visit you at the hospital, I've been worried about you. I'm not talking about your health, you seem to become more distant and disheartened. It's natural something like that happened, I'm sure, but somehow I got the feeling that you had given up on something back then. Happiness, baby. I was about to express my feelings, but the right words didn't come to me. I couldn't say anything. Comfort you. I'm really sorry for not being able to support you when it mattered the most. Even though I liked you so much, at least now, finally, I can be more honest. But good boy, back to the quiet days of February and March to tell you not to give up on yourself. That's what I say. Maybe you wouldn't have drifted so far away. But I just said something. I hope you manage to get back on your own from your feet on your own. Oops. Now that this is between us, it's also physical. It also feels more final somehow. I wonder if we all meet again. Perhaps for the best if you don't. Still, if you would like to correspond with me, by all means, write me back. Very much like to hear about your new school and how you're doing. I wish you all the best. Sincerely, Yonako. For some reason that letter sounds suspiciously stranger and stranger every time I read it. It's weird. For finishing reading the letter, I fold it like it was and place it on my desk. I don't know what to think of it. I feel empty and confused. Why now after all this time? Just yesterday I decided I can't let myself stay like this. I try to get on top of my own life. Reading this letter just reminds me of what could have been. Of course, I wish I didn't have to be here. I want to be in the same class with Yonako again. Maybe we would talk every day now and go on dates. Life didn't go like that. I didn't really need to be reminded of this. Yonako needed to write this letter for her own sake. I'm glad for her that she could. It would have been better if I hadn't read it. Of course, she is right. I thought the same thing yesterday. I had fallen into a pit of depression and now I have to try to climb out. I rip out a page from my notebook. After a moment of thinking of how to frame my words, I write a short reply to Yonako. I find it difficult to be really honest to her, but at least I try to appear somewhat convincing. I don't write her about Yamako at all. Now she will write me again. But I don't feel at all sad about it. I fold my own letter to her, and as I have no envelope, set it next to Yonako's. I'll mail it to her later. Then I lie back on my bed, looking at the monotone gray ceiling. Bird sings outside my window. Bird, bird, bird sound. And a sudden gust of wind flutters my curtains. Flutter. The summer afternoon feels still, as if time had stopped for a brief moment. Think about all the things I've lost and will never regain. Man, and they played the sad music as I thought about this. Katawa Shoujo. Thus, the languid days of mid-June passed by. Mailed my letter to Iwanako and received no reply. Besides the digital me, I started observing my fellow students even closer than I did before, hoping to understand how other people cope with their own issues. I started seeing things I didn't before, and it makes me wonder if I've been wrong twice. Superficially, everyone is abnormal, yet so strikingly normal that it shocked me at first. I admired the way my new schoolmates turned my prejudices around just like that, simply by being themselves. Now that I've gotten used to it, I begin noticing other kinds of tones in the people surrounding me every day. There's a soft, numb sadness all around me. I can see the effort everyone has to make just to get through their day, how it weighs on their shoulders like it weighs on mine. Even the brightest smiles are slightly subdued. An outburst of annoyance just slightly dampened. It's subtle, but it's definitely there. Try to think of what it means, what I can learn from others. I wonder if deep down everyone is as lost as I am. Is there even one person in here who has truly found peace? I start to feel doubtful about myself once again. I can't decide whether these people are happy, unhappy, or if they've just learned to cope and now live in an unfeeling limbo like I did all spring. I escape from these feelings into the towering piles of books I carry to my room for Yuko's sanctuary. Realizing that this will just shut me down even more, I start going to the art club's room more often, usually whenever I can. Rin too seems to spend more time in there than in her own classroom. I've often seen her totter towards the door at the very end of our corridor. The wooden door in the room behind it, smelling of paint and paper, seemed to mean more to her than the rest of the world combined. She says she has a special permission to use the room, which I don't doubt at all. I don't think Nomiya would deny Rin anything. He seems to dote on her like an uncle upon a favorite niece. The object of his affection, however, has no favorites. She says she appreciates the teacher a lot for going the extra mile for her sake. Even when she says that, her expression is always the same. It's as if she was talking about a particularly unremarkable rock that she saw the other day. Can't really figure out the relationship. Ah, wow. Look at this rock. It's so good. Rin doesn't seem to let anyone close. I don't think even Emmy could say she crossed the gap that seems to separate Rin from the rest of the world. I don't understand it. She seems so indifferent, yet so passionate at the same time. Somewhere the school bell rings, the last call of the day. Realize I've been zoning out for who knows how long. Days I sit up straighter, trying to look as inconspicuous as possible. The pungent smells of linseed oil and turpentine mix in my nostrils as I draw a deep breath. Feel drowsy and lightheaded. Whoa, the drugs! Anyway, it's already this late and a few club members left early. It's just me, Rin, the teacher, and two other girls who are also about to leave. Rin is sitting to my right, slowly working on a painting while I'm idling the time away. I don't think she realizes I've been watching her this whole time. Looks good. With a nimble move or a delicate angle, she dips the brush into crimson paint and presses it lightly onto the canvas. Stain spreads around as if the brush was bleeding. Our progress has slowed down to a crawl. By now I've learned that this is dangerous for her technique, as the paint must not be allowed to dry before she finishes. It occurs to me that I'm literally watching paint dry, and yet somehow I'm not feeling bored, despite spacing out just now. Most of the time, the art club is very relaxed and free form. Apart from times when Nomiya gets really excited about some technique or style he wants to teach us about, everyone is free to pursue their own interests. Lacking one, I keep floating around without direction. Try this and that, but nothing really leaves me with a deeper impression. Not to mention that I don't seem to have a special knack for anything. Well, I did get praised for my attempt at watercolors. I feel pretty good about that myself, but that's it. Suppose it's to be expected. I joined the art club mostly on a whim, after all. Thinking that maybe I should quit the club if it's going to be this pointless, but there's nothing really wrong with the pointlessness. I can't exactly say I'm unhappy. Unsatisfied maybe, but I've got only myself to blame for that. As a pair of girls exit the club with a cheerful "bye-bye," Nomiya stands up from his desk. His chair scoots back with a loud screech, breaks the harmony of this quiet afternoon. Taps a pile of papers in his hands twice against the tabletop, just straighten them, then stretches his back. See if my voice will hold.
I have a faculty meeting to attend, so I can't stay. I'll have to do some paperwork later, so if you want to stay, we can talk then. Sorry about this.
There are two people here, but he's really talking to only one of us. Then he spends extra hours of his time mentoring Rin after his official club hours are over. I'll bet he'd like to discuss his plan to gain Rin's art into a gallery a little more.
It's alright. I think I'll probably be here, but it's not a big deal if I'm not. I don't really have much going now.
Rin answers without moving her eyes from her work in progress. The tone of her voice is neither the polite kind expected when talking to a teacher, nor her usual monotone.
So, I won't need to send a search party if you aren't here.
Yes, no thanks. I don't like to party. We can talk later.
Good girl.
Smiling, the teacher picks up the rest of his papers and makes his way to the door. Glance at the clock above it and then my watch to double check. They're 3 minutes apart, but nevertheless the club meeting's time is over now. Rin seems intent on staying here to work on her piece while waiting for the teacher. Can't quite imagine what their one-on-one time would be like. Would they actually discuss anything? Rin is always so subdued in what she says, and when she does say something, it's difficult to understand what she's talking about. I don't know what she's saying. So that's because you're dumb. What? What? And he just talks endlessly like he does at club meetings. Letting Rin absorb what she will from his infinite well of art knowledge, like a sunflower turning to face the glowing sun. Do you mind if I stay? I thought maybe I'd give watercolors another try. Blur out the excuse sort of accidentally, embarrassing myself. Rin doesn't take her eyes off her painting.
Okay.
Shift around in my chair, then get to fetching a cup of water, brushes, colors, and some paper. The sound of my footsteps invades the still afternoon air. Before starting, I tried to recall what the teacher told us. An important philosophy of the medium. Working with watercolors means more working with water than working with color. Try to keep that in mind and dip my tiny sable brush into the water cup. Mixing yellow and blue, trying to capture the sunlit treetops outside of the window. Sun is low, so the yellows are more pronounced and everything looks darker. Still can't quite connect what I see with what my hand does with the paint. It's a passable attempt for my level. After a while, I start losing my focus and move the paper aside, deciding to watch Rin work for a while instead. That little while stretches first into a long while, then into a really long while. Rin paints, her entire being fully concentrated on the brush between her slender toes, and the painting coming to life in one stroke at a time. She seems determined and yet at the same time relaxed, effortlessly moving the brush around, never hesitating. Colors meet in part, mix and cover each other on the canvas, bending to her quiet will. I don't know anything about composition, structure, or any of that stuff, but I really like Rin's paintings, like how she looks when she paints. As usual, the silence between us compels me to speak rather than merely wait for her to open up. She might end up saying nothing at all. Do you mind if we talk?
I don't mind.
I kind of wanted to ask more about why you get so weird about this thing the teacher wants to arrange for you. She picks up a tube of paint to squeeze it between her toes and a palette almost as easily as someone with opposable thumbs would. Taking a brush again, she replies,
A lot of things, and some not things. Unthings. I don't think that's a word.
Do you want to talk about it? I try to reach out to her clumsily, knowing the embarrassing feeling of awkwardness. Rin keeps her focus on the painting, spreading more and more paint on the canvas, lips forming a perfectly straight line as she concentrates on the job.
Not really. Talking is hard. I mean, it's not hard. I'm talking even now. But saying the right things is really hard for me. No matter what, I just can't say the things I want.
That sounds weird.
It's true. I say all kinds of things I usually don't mean all the time. Sometimes I forget words and then I use the wrong words. I even come up with new words for things that already have some. That's the worst thing. I get really nervous and everything comes out a mess, and even I don't really understand what I want to say. I think there's something wrong with me that makes me like this. From what I said, I can only think of 4 things at the same time.
I nod wordlessly.
Not really 4. I mean, it is 4, but everything else is also there kind of in the background. Like being at an amusement park and a beehive at the same time. But that's not the point. I used to do better, like 6 or 7 things. I think so, at least. Feel like I'm becoming dumber.
I think everyone has times when they feel like they can't say the right things.
But it's there all the time, stronger and deeper. Yeah, deeper is a good word. I like that word. Deeper. It's that feeling of being underwater. Maybe it's just art. The more I paint, the more words I forget. Maybe at some point, I'll forget how to speak completely. Feels like I'm slowly forgetting everything. Do you remember what you thought about things 3 or 4 years ago? I don't.
Long pause ensues, during which time it seems to bend around itself, almost tying itself into a knot. I don't think I've ever heard Rin talk this earnestly and for so long about anything before.
It's like I'm fading away from the world.
Rin's foot has stopped its work on the canvas as she started staring at her painting, unmoving, as if gazing at some faraway horizon. Sunlight briefly glints in the corner of her onyx eyes. Something floats up into the top layer of Rin's being and she lets out a long breath. Then she blinks and it's gone. As is the music.
Paintings stay behind. When I look at my old things, I remember what I was thinking back when I made them. They made me feel like I could be with all the past me's when I was a different me. Guess they are the proof of my existence. She used the exact same words Nomiya used when he spoke to us of the nature of art. I think Rin was paying me any attention back then. I wonder if she was listening, or whether she had heard the same passionate speech from Nomiya before. Either way, I feel overwhelmed. Boy, are you complicated. I would have taken up writing a diary. Her eyes quickly flickered to my direction, then back to the painting, but she doesn't pick up the brush anymore. Oh! That's a great idea. Why didn't I ever think of that?
Are you being sarcastic?
What's sarcasm?
I don't call her out. I don't call her on the joke if it is one. Right at that moment, Nomi returns from his meeting. He waves to us a very melodramatic hello, mildly surprised to see me here along with his pet student. Walking with a boisterous gait to his desk, he drops his papers upon it. Picks up a handkerchief and cleans his glasses with incredibly meticulous care before walking over to us. Before he is within earshot of us, and says something to me in a quick, quiet voice.
Change is the scariest thing in the world to me. I seriously don't know if I want to change into a person who could do the thing the teacher wants me to do. I don't know if I could even I don't know if I could, even if I wanted to.
Oh. Oh. Ah. Oh. Oh. That's a bombshell. Wait, whoa. It's like I just woke up or something. Wait. Whoa. What? That's... Oh, okay. Wow, that was an eye-opener. Holy crap.
Hello again.
Hello.
What's going on?
He smiles a bit sheepishly, looking at both of us with uninhibited interest. Oh, man. Nothing. We were just talking about that thing, your acquaintance in the gallery for Rin's work, sort of.
Oh, any decisions?
Rin just let us know the actual reason why she doesn't want to go through with the gallery. Look at Rin, who's trying to arrange the bothered expression on her face into something else. Anyway, I don't think I have much else to say other than that. Alright, well, we're saving here. Continue. Alright. Anyway, I don't think I have much else to say other than that you should go for it. Wait, what? It isn't like, because it would be exciting, it isn't like you know. So, obviously that's the wrong one. Probably this, like, it isn't like her to hesitate, right? It isn't like you at all to hesitate. Yes, okay. This isn't like you. You told me that people should do things they can't, just because they can. Now you're being all wishy-washy yourself about something this important.
I don't think I want to talk about this. I'm going.
Rin stands up and trots out of the room without anyone saying anything more. I'm sorry, I think I made her upset.
Ha ha ha! Don't worry about it. She'll be fine, I'm sure. I'll talk to her later.
I'm still using the guide. I'm just not looking at it because I'm like, sometimes like that grabs my attention. I'm like, what? Nomi looks at me over his circular pink glasses, smiling sympathetically.
You've made friends with her then, Nakai?
Well, something like that, I guess. Depends on how you look at it. To be honest, I'm not really sure. It's more like me and Rin just tend to hang around each other irregularly, talking or not, about something that more often resembles some twisted mockery of philosophy rather than normal everyday things that friends chat about.
Well, that's good, isn't it? You're a new student, and we should be promoting integration into the student body and such. I can't remember all the buzzwords they spew at the faculty and Yamaku Foundation meetings, but that's how it is.
Yo, that meme that's been going around, that you cheated a game, you didn't learn, and whatever. Yo, that meme is great.
Tezuka isn't the most social person around these parts either.
Yep, that's definitely true.
So she's talked about my suggestion to you.
Oh no, not really. I think it's been more me pressing her to decide something. Maybe I shouldn't have.
No, I'm sure it's fine. I'm too soft with her, even when I shouldn't. I don't really know how to handle Tezuka. She's so independent and willful.
And I've been using a guide since the get-go for this game. For obvious reasons, including the fact that, you know, if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to get all the good endings as efficiently as it did. I'm sorry.
I wonder if this is what every old geezer of an art teacher who got his hands on a young and fiery prodigy felt like.
He chuckles ironically to himself a little bit. Turning to face Rin's latest work, which she left drying on the easel, she departed so abruptly that I wonder if she considers it finally finished. Reacts Tom from being a guide because he would only lead me down two routes, the Hanukkah route and the Rin route, and we're like, we can't have that, man.
So let's see the painting then.
Leans in closer, peering at the canvas.
It draws you in, doesn't it?
When he stands back straight, his face a dreamy, nostalgic visage. I don't answer him as he seems to be taking my agreement as a given.
I sometimes stay here after hours, just to look at Tezuka's paintings. She's really just prodigious, at such a young age. I get shivers just thinking about what she could become with a few more years of refinement.
Lies, Tom. You totally had led me down the Rin route next.
You asked what makes an artist, remember? This is it. They take a piece of the world and reshape it in their own image. Metaphorically, of course.
This guy screams lolicon? No, this guy seems really bad fashion sense. Kinda eccentric. Oh, really? Interesting. So wait, the fact that I'm ending with Rin now is all of your plan, Tom? This was your plan all along from the get-go? Did you do this? You did this? It was you?
Looking at her makes you wonder what the world looks like through her eyes. It's a wonderful feeling to be young and full of passion. The most extraordinary time of your life. You would do well to remember that, Nakai.
All according to plan, no. Yes, sir.
It's so silly. People always ask artists, where do you get your ideas? As if ideas were something sold at the market for pocket change. Can't explain inspiration. For people like Tezuka, it's like breathing. It's an instinct.
You spelled Keikaku wrong. There's an I in Keikaku. Keikakudori! Anyway.
I met maybe one or two with the same kind of raw potential. No amount of potential will amount to anything if one doesn't work to realize it. It's practice, technique, skill. Draw for an hour every day for a few years, and even the most hopeless case becomes a passable artist.
Exactly.
Tezuka is not brilliant because she was born with natural talent for this kind of thing. She's brilliant because she works harder than anyone, ever since she learned to hold a pen, most likely. And all of it with her feet, no less. Absolutely phenomenal.
Considering that all according to Keikaku is a famous meme, come on. You could Google that. Ask Google Senpai. Google Senpai doesn't lead us astray. They already control our lives. They know memes. Silence finally lands in the club room as Nomiya lets himself get drawn back into Rin's painting, gently murmuring acceptance toward the still wet canvas. What kind of things do you paint yourself? As if waking from a reverie, he looks at me surprised at my talk to him.
Oh, I don't. Not anymore. I became an art teacher only after my career in that field came to an end. And I just pass on knowledge to the next generation.
The way Nomiya answers is curious, both giving and withholding information. I feel like asking more, but he cuts in before I get the chance.
Pardon. Anyway, now you should run along, my boy. It's almost dinner time, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Have a good evening.
You too.
Quickly collect my stuff and step out into the deserted hallway, leaving the teacher alone with my musings. Yes, Padoro all the time, right? The weekend will be here soon. It's amazing how time flies here. Promised Emmy I'd join her for the celebration of her triumph at the track meet last week. That should be plenty of fun. All right. You know what? For some reason, wow, that's only been an hour and a half. It feels like it was a lot longer. I feel like we learned a lot more in that hour, and in like the last like hour, the last like half hour even, than like about Rin, than we learned about anybody in a half hour ever. Oh god. And my voice is like acting up because I've been like sick still and stuff, so like for me stamina wise I'm not gonna be all there. So that was really good. That's really good. Like Rin's route is very interesting. Makes you think. Yeah, definitely yeah, that's what it does. It feels very packed. Like I feel like I've been going double the time today. Because the combination of the sickness and the combination of like literally when Rin dropped her line, I was like, I stopped for a moment. I was like, wait, what? Like, oh my goodness, wow, that was very interesting. This is very interesting. I'm gonna actually cut it short, and you know what? You know, hopefully that will give more people appreciation to like really play this because like this is great. It's very fascinating. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, Tom, you know, so far I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying her route. It's very different. It feels very different. Raid meth? Oh yeah, we could do that. But for now, you know, we're going to cut it off here. So this is Anime Fan RK2K. Thank you very much for joining me for Visual Thursdays. Sorry, cutting off short. Let's quickly raid meth. Give him a good old raid. And you know what? We'll continue this next week. Yo, what's happening, man? It's happening, okay? You know, like, interesting. This is a very interesting route. I'm enjoying it. Alright, guys. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching. Peace.